Alright, YouTube. I've been watching a couple videos on everybody's Fs128t by Ascend. You can get them at Bass Pro for right at $700. I've had this kayak since about a week after it came out. I've seen a couple problems people have been saying about them. Number one is the water collecting in front of the front hatch. So I did a little bit of modification to mine. And pretty much what I had come up with was taking the front hatch and making it a complete dry compartment. I fiberglassed MDF board and then painted it white just so I can see inside of there when it's dark out. And when I did that, I took a piece of foam and laid it right about there in front of it so it slopes into my scrubber holes. One of the other things I have come up with for this kayak is this is worthless. I don't use it. I haven't removed it yet, but I probably will be in the future. I've put a ruler on here just for size limits if I am keeping. Most of the time I'm just catch and release, but it's good to know what size you're catching. Into the back, stuff slides around like crazy. So what I've done is I have taken these boxes and they don't slide around as much, and I keep a lot of my goodies inside of there, and I travel with the goodies inside of here. One of the things I've come up with to make it easy, I hate stuff on my deck, is for instance my anchor. And my anchor is actually attached to a $5 dog leash that retracts itself. So I use that if I'm anchoring up on a river, just to kind of hold me in place so I can get a couple more casts out at the fish. Other than that, I don't really use my scrubber plugs. I have them with me. I'm probably going to start using some just right under the seat, those two holes, one on each side. I was going down some rapids a couple weeks ago, and I actually had water coming up and splashing me in my butt. So just probably going to mark off those, as well as when I bring my kayak home, it's up on my ladder rack. I take out my drain plug and I attach it to there just so I don't lose it. I don't know if you can find another one. I had lost the front hatch about a week after I got it. Called up Ascend. They did charge me $30 to replace it. So that was kind of unfortunate, but shit happens. One of the other kayak things I wanted to share with you guys is this is a new product out from Rust-Oleum, and it's called Never Wet. So pretty much what it is a water-resistant spray you can put on anything, and I'm kind of playing around with it still. If anybody has better ideas, please share. But I put it on my kayak paddles. So you can see this part is treated, this part is not. For when I tilt the paddle up when I am paddling and water drips on me, I got a cup of water here to kind of show you guys what it does, is it just kind of runs right off the paddle. So there is no dripping and no wetness compared to the untreated part where it kind of stays wet for a minute and drips down onto your lap. So I've found that very useful. That has about 5 uses on it now. You can tell it's scratched up. I'm pretty pleased with it. I will continue to coat my paddle in it and continue to use it. Other people have been talking about their screws getting used. I use this kayak about once or twice a week. My screws really are not loose. Bungee cords are still good. The seat, one thing I did want to say about that is I might be taking out the swivel to get it down to a lower profile. I don't ever swivel. I haven't seen a use for it yet, so I'm going to probably try it out until I get annoyed, and then I might go back. I don't know yet. With the hatches, I have put caulk all the way around them to keep water out even more. It was $5 at the hardware store, and I have a completely dry kayak every time. Again, these really haven't come loose. The only one that I have seen is these down here. I do double check every once in a while, but they're staying pretty good right now. I might even throw some Loctite on them once I take it off. If I take that swivel out, then that way I never really have to check them again. One thing I have noticed is the dry bag for this compartment does collect water. I don't know how to keep it out. I've tried caulking a little bit inside of the threads to get it a tighter seal. Again, if anybody has anything on that, let me know. Other than that, I mean, it's been a really nice kayak. Pretty durable. I've noticed a couple flaws in it. It doesn't like to turn. It doesn't like to run in shallow water. But again, you're in a big boat. I knew that when I was getting into it. I do have to say, be careful with your straps. I got my kayak the other day when I was strapping it up, and the strap actually chewed into it. So I might be trying out some pads on my straps so I avoid that. That would kind of upset me. But other than that, it's been pretty good. I also might be trying to relocate the rod holders. They point out at a direction, as you can see, using the paddle as the direction there. And when I'm going through small creeks and rivers, I'm in Missouri, it seems to get into the trees. And so most of the time I just lay my rods down like that, or actually I keep my paddle on my lap constantly. It's always there. And my rod lays, depending on which one I'm using or what, how many I'm using, they usually lay right in the center there, and I don't use a rod holder at all. So I might be trying to rig something up. If anybody has more ideas on that as well. I prefer not to have my rods laying out. I spend a lot of money on them and I don't want them ruined, but I do not like the rod holders when it starts to point outwards and getting caught up in the trees. So that really concludes the video on this. If anybody wants any help making this dry box in here, like I said, I haven't had a drop of water in there yet. I keep my smokes in there. I keep my phone. I keep my phone in a dry box inside that dry box. That's just because my phone, obviously they do cost a lot. But I do want to take pictures while I'm out there. I can help anyone with the construction I did on that. It was fairly easy. It took me maybe 6 hours to do, and then most of that was drying time. So I pretty much just constructed out of, like I said, 1/4 inch MDF. Made a box, fiberglass the entire outside of it, caulked the seams, and then spray painted the inside white. The only thing you have to watch for is when you close the hatch, you have to have a little piece cut out there, and that is so the actual lip of the handle can lock in. But water has to splash up almost 8 inches to get into that hole, so I haven't seen anything coming through there at all. I will also maybe be doing a bead of caulk in here, just again as an extra line of sealer. I've noticed a couple little drops of water in there, which, I mean, when it's getting close to my cigarettes, that's life or death. So I probably will caulk that up. Other than that, that pretty much concludes it. Hope you guys enjoy it. And if you guys have any questions on any of the tools I'm using on my kayak, don't hesitate to contact me at all. Or if you have anything to share on ideas, let me know. I'm always looking to upgrade and always looking to improve my setup. Thanks.